Good morning and welcome. This is the beginning of a new series of videos in which I will tell you the value of things. There are a lot of things that people consider completely optional, unnecessary, and not real useful. Some of these things will be fun things, some of these things will be school subjects, some of these things will be just stuff that you may not know why we do it or what value it has. I'm going to start with one of the ones closest to my heart, which is literature. Literature is written stories. Now, we'll get into later some of the very specific types of literature and the arguments about whether movies or video games count as literature. But let's start right now with just books. Books are very, very valuable. Not just in the I read something once and it taught me something kind of way, but they have lots of hidden values as well. For example, I have a dear, dear friend who is incredibly intelligent, very, very smart, is able to understand concepts very, very quickly. The problem is that this friend doesn't read. And so because of that, this friend often, in conversations with intelligent people, sounds like an idiot. Because he takes 30 minutes to explain a 5-minute concept. It is unfortunate because he is very, very intelligent. But it takes people a while to get to know that, and it takes people a while to appreciate that. But if he read like he played video games, or like he understood science, or like he watched movies, then he would sound a great deal more intelligent. Reading gives you a vocabulary that other people may not have. Now, I'm not saying that you have to read literature to have a good vocabulary, but it certainly helps to see words used in lots of different ways. And so, quite often, we will hear words used and we'll only know one way that they mean something. And then it'll come up later and you won't have any idea what it means because it hasn't been used in multiple senses. One of the things about learning Swedish is teaching me that sometimes a word means very, very different things based on context. But I'm getting it. Anyway, literature in the form of books also gives you the added experience of understanding new people and different people. Because, for the most part, many of us are stuck where we are at a young age. Now, if you happen to be one of the lucky few who travels a lot, whose family is well off, good for you. But most people, I would say at least most people in the US and lots of people elsewhere, they don't do that much travel. They don't meet various different peoples. They are generally confined to a relatively small, narrow band of people that they meet. And literature gives us an expansion of those people. Now, it's not the same as actually traveling and meeting people, but it makes you more open to the idea of other cultures. It makes you more open to the ideas of other people. And it exposes you to ideas that may be considered completely foreign to your culture. It gives you the possibility of seeing more of yourself in others, which is a very, very important part in building empathy. It is much, much better for you to understand others as characters and not necessarily as just bit parts in your life. Literature also has some unseen effects, like completing a book has a certain satisfaction that people who don't read won't really understand. There is, when you accomplish something, your brain releases dopamine, among other chemicals. And right now we have there. That's why some people are addicted to gambling, or some people are addicted to phone games, or some people are addicted to certain really easy video games because they want that high of completion. Well, working towards that completion in the form of a book is both an understanding and a formalization of the character, to get into and travel, make this journey with the character together. But it's also very, very valuable to your brain. because when your brain gets completion from reading a book, it makes you feel good and it makes you appreciate academic pursuits. Also, when reading, you get references that you might not normally have been exposed to, especially cultural references. You're more likely to be able to know when someone's speaking in metaphor. The one that I can think of that stands out to me is I had a professor once who was not a big reader, which is odd considering they were, well, no, they weren't an English professor, they were just an academic professor. Anyway, wasn't a big reader. And they constantly misused a metaphor, which was white whale. White whale is from Moby Dick, and basically to say that something is someone's white whale is to say something they're obsessed with, something that they think is most important to them to hunt down and destroy, but that is not going to mean what they think it does. Captain Ahab is a character who is just so obsessed with this that he ends up getting much of his crew killed and himself killed trying to hunt it down. It's his destructive, obsessive impulse. This guy just thought it meant successful hunt. So he would constantly misuse this metaphor because he didn't know what it meant. Just didn't have any idea. And when you know metaphors, you're much less likely to make a mistake that makes you look stupid to other smart people. Now, admittedly, not everybody's going to make literary metaphors, but there are many, many metaphors that are also involved in television and Netflix and, the many, many other media that you're going to consume that will make you understand each other better. I have some students who read similar books that I did, and I was able to talk to them on a deeper level because we were able to discuss the tribulations of a character, and we were able to understand, oh, this character is going through this, and it's kind of like this person in our school going through that. And so it allows you to access a shared landscape, and you can discuss things with these people, and you're able to share a deeper understanding with others through the trials of these characters. The best way I can explain this to people who don't read a lot is, how you can share SpongeBob stuff with other people who watch SpongeBob, and you just kind of have this shared mythology. Like somebody can say, oh yeah, it's totally like when this happened. And it's like that with books, but the more books that you read, the more you're able to talk about the powerful meaning of the books, and the more books how the books meant to me, what the books meant to you. I had some very, very wonderful moments where I was able to talk to students last year where they were talking about characters in the books that meant something to them, and we were able to bond over that. And that's a powerful thing. It's a very, very powerful thing to be able to talk to people about people who aren't you. When it comes to all of that, literature has just a great deal of value in other ways as well. But it's one of those things that books are very, very meaningful. And as adults, we try to get kids into reading. And some do, and some don't. But books are awesome. They let me go places that I would never be able to go, mostly because those places don't exist. And they let me understand cultures I would never understand, and they teach me stuff all the time. I'm reading books rather constantly that just show me new things. I'm going to try something. I doubt it's going to make much of a difference, especially here in summer. But I'm going to ask for a comment. Comment the book that meant the most to you in the comments. If you get to this point in the video, many of you won't, comment the book that means the most to you in the comments, and I'll do the same. And I'll comment on your comment and maybe make suggestions of other books. I hope you guys are having a great summer. Take care. I'm going to try to do these value of things videos more often, because it finally gives me a direction for the channel. Beep boop. Take care.